get towards the end of the day every day and I think, what can I do next just to make sure that I get stuff done for tomorrow? And one less thing to do tomorrow. That has been the key of this whole bloody project. And I just I might have a 5-minute break and go, what can I do? Oh, haven't done that. And then things just come to me. There's things that I haven't actioned and I wish I had. So I'll always spend that last hour just tidying up something, and tidying up the boat would be actually a good idea. But for now, what I'm actually doing, I've decided to glue in the frames for our galley. I've had them in place for some time. And these frames, it's the drawers, the main cabinet under the galley, and then the actual frame for the pot drawer. If I glue them in, I can start to work on finishing the doors themselves. And they're solid Tassie oak. Unlike our cupboards, these are actually solid hardwood. And we've done that just for the galley, just to sort of differentiate it a little bit, I guess. And I've got this one here, which is actually the original fiberglass door. I've still got to do a bit of work on this to tidy this up, but that's taking quite a bit of work to get that steamed and bent into place. But I think we're pretty happy with the result.
Yeah, and you know what?
What's that?
It's that long ago since I did this, and we've done that many. I had to double check I'd actually stained it.
Yeah, no, you have stained it.
But I was just there, oh no, maybe I might have not done it, but I have.
No, it's hard because we're getting to the point where you've done so many that I've forgotten what you've done, to be honest, as well. And I keep pulling them out.
I don't think I've got any more to do. I've got door frames.
We've got door frames to do down in the port cabin. So down in the port forward cabin, there's a heap of frames that I haven't actually made the doors for. I've made the frames, but I haven't made the actual drawers. I haven't made the actual doors for the robes yet, but I've made the frames for the doors for the robes. I've got to lay up a piece of foam, and Janet's throwing me because she's trying to be smart.
I'm laughing at you more than anything.
All right, here comes the rain again.
Oh.
Just torrential today, isn't it?
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Can't walk up the stairs without seeing the camera. I want one of these, not this foam one.
Oh, the fluffy one?
Yeah.
Cool. What's that? What are you doing?
I'm flow coating the inside of the doors and cupboard.
Oh, all the cupboards, yeah.
So that we can then sand it a little bit and polish it, and then that's the door sealed.
Well, do you want to show us one while you're at it?
Yeah.
Oh, show us what you've been doing.
Okay. So you've probably seen me sanding and staining and sanding and staining, but on the other side it was all green.
Yeah, it was foam.
Yeah, so just to finish the doors so that when you open it you don't see green. Only that had gaps are filled, and then we put flow coat on, and then I slightly sanded it to get rid of any rough bits.
Yep.
And then just polished it.
Nice. Well, it's a nice easy way rather than making up a liner, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just as effective.
So the doors actually laminate, and then we've got a Tassie oak edge on it.
Yeah, and then when you open it, it'll look like that.
Well, it's actually foam, so it's not wood. It's not cord or wood. It's not solid. It's actually super light and rot proof. And now we've got the flow coat on it. It's basically finished, and because Janet's polished it, you don't have to worry about any moisture getting into it, and it's all glued around the outside. So yeah, nice. That looks good. I've been trying to decide how to integrate the back wall of the boat and the lining, whether to run a timber strip and curve it up into there just to bring all the timber work into the wall, but I've actually decided to glass and fair it so that this becomes this and this becomes this. So I had to sand it all back, and I've also done it over here as well. So over in the corner here, I was actually going to run a timber strip like I've done here, up in here, but I've decided to integrate this so that it all looks like one piece. I'm just in the middle of it. I'm putting them in 3 or 4 layers of CSM and then a couple of layers of surfboard cloth just to integrate that corner there like I've done pretty much everywhere else. It's a big job doing this because you've got to fair and paint and then polish to get all the integrations right, but that's pretty much been the mode of this whole boat, is to get these integrations really looking like it all came out of a mold. and short of fairing and painting them, and the gel coating is a big job, and it's taken quite a bit of time to do this. So I'm just in the finishing process of getting this one laminated here. I've just spent another hour sanding, and I've got a couple little wear-throughs, but I'm almost there. That integration is almost perfect. It's absolutely fair. A little bit more flow coat on that, and that one's done. Now the other thing I've done is over here. I've actually got in and did this one as well. A couple of little wear-throughs, and that's a simple fix. One more flow coat and that'll be it. I'll just polish it out. You know, it's 3 different pieces all integrated together. The top here I'm not going to worry about. I am going to flow coat it, but I am going to Velcro some timber up there, and probably potentially have a couple of fasteners, like fast mounts or something, to hold a timber trim in up there. And down along the floor here as well, got an area under here. I've actually allowed a conduit here. This is likely to be a fuel transfer line that will go from one fuel tank to the other, because each fuel tank is directly adjacent down in there, and down in there behind the galley there I've got a fuel tank. So I could potentially put a simple pass-through fuel line with a fuel polisher somewhere, potentially over on this side. I've got more room over this side than I have on the other, because the other side actually has all of the electronic equipment. After 3 days of relatively frustrating work, and I've got to say this is one of the hardest things I've had to do for a long time, is this hydraulic steering. Bending copper lines inside small robes to mount and making sure that the flares are matching up perfectly has been challenging, to say the least. But let's have a bit of a look where I'm at. Yesterday I had a bit of a moment where I forgot to put a couple of T's in, so that created about another 3 hours work. The next part is the port line, the starboard line. That port line's got to go all the way through to the stern sugar scoop. So I'm just poking that through now. That's a 3 meter length, and what I intend to do is actually bend it just here and clip it down to the wall here, because I don't want any loose copper lines anywhere that can vibrate and bang on things. They're better off to be mounted onto the actual hull with P-clips to ensure that there's no sort of vibration as the steering is operating. I'm actually trying to straighten those as much as possible, but trying to put this all in one length, which is actually ideal. We don't want too many fittings. But once I get through to the sugar scoop there, we've got a whole nother manner to deal with over there. So I'm going to go through and push that through, and then I'll be able to link it up to the port line, and then there'll be a return line over to the other side. So if we go back up here, I've been jammed in that hole for 3 days. Essentially what's happening here is it's coming through into the stern sugar scoop here, and it'll link up with this hose here, and then this hose here has to go back through the bulkhead, up, across to the other side, and link up with the piston down in there. Then there'll be another one that'll return back across the lounge, down, and back to that starboard mount down in there. So there's a lot to think about here. I thought I was out of this area, but I'm not. I don't think I'm ever going to get out of this area. It's just flaring actually in situ is not easy, because you've got to put a lot of force on it to get it right. And There's no point in trying to do it in an engine room. You can sit out in a bit more of an open space. Oh, it's a challenge. Oh, there's got to be a better way. I think I got it. Yep, perfect. That was a bit of an effort, that one. I don't often lose my shit, but I just lost my shit. I was up inside that frickin' engine room, and honestly, it's just my knees and all the little clips and everything, and the sharp edges on the motor are just giving me the shits. I've got cuts and bruises everywhere, all because this fucking hydraulic line doing my head in. I'm almost there on this side. This is the hard side because of the engine room complexity. Everything's in this room. I've just spent probably an hour and a half up there getting this tube bent. It's not dead straight yet, but I will get it straight because I intend to pin it every 45 centimeters as per the instructions. And I've got this piece ready to flare and connect, and that is going to get me the starboard side, the beginning of the starboard side, which is actually going to have to meet up behind the hot water service there. So may have to move it to get it in, but I'd prefer not to, because if I can do it without moving stuff, that means if I have a problem with it, I can actually fix it without having to tear the boat apart. I'm just trying to think about access at every single level here. So I got the port line in, which is this one here. So fairly complicated stuff. I just pushed everything out of the way. I'm just in more of a mess, but it won't be long before this is done. Whew. Day 4 of hydraulic install. This has been a bit of a brain buster, this one. It's simply a fluid link. It's basically a circle, but it's not that easy when you're dealing with particularly a catamaran, because we're working our way through and across into other hulls and back again. So I've been going pretty hard down here, and I've actually got it to the point where I'm about halfway across. Now, most of the work is down here in the portside engine room, so I can be gratified with the fact that I've done pretty much all the work down in there needed, except for the final install, which means I'm going to pull them apart and basically just make sure that all the seating surfaces are okay, and then Loctite the seals and put it all together. So basically I'm down to the lounge on the rear here. Now, in here is very interesting. I've actually got it coming up from the chamfer panel into what we call a fluid link here. Now, this fluid link valve basically allows me to shut off the hydraulic system and isolate it, but also to normalize the fluid in the rudders. So if one rudder gets out of balance, if you turn that valve, I think the idea is that you end up with an equal flow, and I can actually equalize the fluid throughout the system. So I've got it to here, and I've also got it to here. And I'm putting in fittings where I can't physically get it through the bulkhead, because what I'm trying to avoid doing is burrowing big holes in the bulkhead. I don't want to put in big holes like this, because they're only going to have to be sealed again, because I don't want water getting in here, getting down into the engine room. So should we ever get a big wave go over the back of the boat. So I'm pretty much got this solved up to and including this area here. Down in this particular sugar scoop down in here, and Janet's got the hatches, she's up there sanding the hatches, but down in there I've actually got it running into that compartment. I haven't actually finished the bends and everything to get it to match up with the hydraulic hoses on the pistons themselves. Now those slave cylinders down in there have to have a hydraulic hose that actually meets it, because firstly the slave cylinder is actually moving a little bit when it's pushing the rod back and forth. It's not stationary, there's a little bit of movement in it as it activates that tiller. Although the tiller goes in and out, the actual valve itself needs to move up and down as it operates the rudder systems. I'm going to start working on here. It'll be down into the starboard engine room and into the starboard sugar scoop, and essentially once I'm down in there I will have completed all the runs needed to do the final install. So flaring these copper lines in situ is not easy. I could opt to just put fittings all the way through, but I've still got a hole to go through. I could actually put a larger hole, but I intend to seal these up. I'm trying to keep my bulkheads, the integrity of the bulkheads is very important to me, particularly even just a little one like this. If I get water in here, I don't want it in the next compartment. So if I burrow out a big section here or hole saw it out big enough for the entire fitting to fit through, then I'm in trouble. So flaring them in situ is not that easy. After 4 days of climbing into the engine room to get the engine room hydraulic steering, I've got some help. I've sent the munchkin in. Hello.
Hello.
You like it in there, don't you?
So how do you get out?
I come forward.
Yeah.
Now that heat exchange is going to be hot normally.
Yeah.
But I put my hand on the left hand side on the white. Yeah, that's it. And then I come out, I put my foot there. Yeah. And then I come up and put my knee on the top of the...
How'd you get in?
Same way.
Well, so you roll around going backwards?
Yeah, I roll around. Oh. Righto, so I'm still working on this plumbing here. I've got pretty much everything I need to complete the job. This is the end of the actual install to get the lines across to the port and starboard sugar suits, but ultimately I need to then hook them up to the piston, so there's going to be a bit of work to be done there, but at least I've got it all through. This is the last part. It's a little bit difficult because I've got this bloody stainless stanchion coming down here. I've got to route around it, but anyway, it's cool. One of the things I've actually learned is that I can pre-flare one end of it and potentially bend it so it fits in place. This one's going to be a little bit of an S-bend shape, and the other one that I have here, I've already pre-bent this one. So this is actually the chamfer panel, and that'll go up into the rear of the boat itself, and I've over measured so I can then cut and flare it up in the back of the lounge suite. So I'll put a double flare union on here so I can just link it straight in, and hopefully that's going to fit. Alright, so I've had to open the hole up a little bit more just to get this through, but I'm trying to minimise the amount of connections I have, and that's going to work perfectly, and I'll be able to pin this line down to the chamfer panel and complete the flaring up inside the back lounge, which is actually much nicer than trying to do it in here, because that would be near on impossible. See here, that one's going all the way down and into the stern lazarette, and I'll be able to seal up the bulkhead here with these holes here to retain the integrity of this bulkhead, because this is a sealed bulkhead that needs to be totally watertight, and there's no way I'm going to let any water into this bulkhead. Obviously it's a crushed bulkhead and we've got to protect it. So the next one is a little bit complicated. This actually sits here and there's an S-bend that goes up into that hole there. I'm just hoping that I've bent it adequately to get around this stainless stanchion that's here. I don't want it actually touching that, because obviously copper and stainless wouldn't go well together, and it could pierce my lines here, so I'm going to have to put in some protection underneath that. So I've pre-bent this, and I'm actually really achieving good bends. There's absolutely no crimping, and they're good bends, and I'm just doing it with my spring, and it's making a massive difference. So the free end there will be flared, cut and flared and joined up in the lounge suite up at the back, which is a lot easier than trying to do it up in that congested spot up in there. Yep, that worked. Oh, unbelievable. I got it. I can't fucking believe it. Oh, mate. Righto. After a fair amount of swearing, I got it. I cannot believe I got that up in there. I'm going to have to fill those holes. I've just expanded them out. I'll go up now and join the other ends, and hopefully that'll be it. Oh, very happy to have all of my lines in for the hydraulics. I'll just show you where I got to today. It's a bit messy in here, but... So what I've actually got to, I've got it all the way across. Here is my fluid link valve, all the way across. I've actually pinned it every 45 centimeters as per the instructions, and come right across here, all the way across, and I'm into the sugar scoop on both sides, made sure I didn't cross lines all the way across, and now I'm ready to start hooking up the pistons down in here on the rudder plinth. I've actually got to put a join in here because it's not long enough. Bottom one actually has to go all the way to the front. And the one thing I actually learned after flaring a couple of these tubes was to put a little bit of hydraulic oil on the flaring tool, and that made a massive difference, and it also stopped that metal on metal scouring that you get with a lot of flares. It's just a very simple thing to do, and it's totally solved my problem. Perfect. I'm sitting here in the dark because it's pouring rain, and the only way to keep dry is to keep the hatch on. I would certainly hate for that hatch to shut with me in it, and I'm going to make sure that I've got a quick release from the inside just in case it slams down on me. There will be a gas strut on it, but I have heard of someone who actually got caught in a hatch. I'm not sure what the outcome was, but I think he didn't make it. And this is the last connection I'm flaring.